Hello everyone, it is currently 8 p.m. Central Time. My name is David, November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and you're tuned in to the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. You can check us out every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system and the KA5D University Link repeater system. If you need more information about these repeaters, such as their All-Star Link status, tone information, and what frequencies your radio should be programmed to, make sure to check out ka5d.com and n5oak.org, respectively. You can also find us on Echolink by connecting to ka5d-r or n5oak-r. If you're running All-Star, make sure to use node 51444. For anyone just now joining us, the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Night Net tonight. This is David, November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and I'll be running the show this evening. This is a controlled net, meaning that if you want to transmit, make sure to wait for designated check-in or comment times. There will be no scheduled pauses for emergency traffic, but we will yield the air to any breaking emergency. With that in mind, please leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. If you are having an emergency during this net, please say break, and we will pause the net to try and help. The UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net is a social net, and our goal here is to get a bunch of ham radio operators together to, talk about stuff they've learned, discuss activities with the UT Amateur Radio Club, answer and ask questions, just generally keep in touch. It's nice to make sure all of us are still around with our busy lives. Any hams are invited to participate. You just need to have a license, so if you're new or very experienced, make sure to check in because we're welcome to everybody. It's very easy to check into this net. In just a little while, I'm going to ask for check-ins, and then we'll go down the list of people who want to participate and ask them about their week. Once we have the first round checked in, we'll go down the list one person at a time, and we'll talk for a bit. And afterwards, if anyone has any questions, they'll be able to break in and talk to you. So one thing to note is that if you check in short time, we don't we don't really chat with you. It's just a way to get you in the log, let you say hi to everyone and then be on your way. So just for ID, my name is David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and I'm the net control operator for tonight's net. With club news break, club news for this week, no meeting. However, we will be, or at least some of us will be attending the N5OAK, Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Park Potluck this Saturday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it because of some family issues, but we'll work something out. If you want to find more information about the UT Amateur Radio Club, including dates for events, make sure to go to our website, sites.utexas.edu/November 5 X-ray uniform. You can also just Google N5XU and you'll find us. Break. If you are a UT student listening into this net and would like to join the UT Amateur Radio Club, please send us an email at n5xu@utlist.utexas.edu. Okay, it's time for short-time check-ins. Short-time check-ins are for operators who cannot stay for the entire net, but who would still like to make it into the log. I will not open the floor for comments or questions for the short-timers after their turn. That way you can, call in, say hello, and then go about your night without not being able to participate in the net. Sorry, that was a double negative. Alright, let's go to short-time check-ins. If you don't have much time to spend with us tonight, please check in by saying "this is" with a short pause to avoid doubling, and then please give us your name and call sign slowly and phonetically.
This is K5 Sierra Delta Whiskey, Scott.
Alright, we have Kilo 5 Sierra Delta Whiskey, Scott. Do we have any other short-time check-ins? Alright, one last call to the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Wednesday Night Net for November 1st, 2023. If you don't have much time for tonight and would like to check in, but don't have time to give comments or whatever, please come now with your name and call sign, slowly and phonetically. Alright, I guess not many people are short for time tonight. Thank you, Scott, Kilo 5, Sierra Delta Whiskey. Okay, it's time for regular check-ins, but real quick we'll do a station ID and refresh some information about the club. So for anyone just now tuning in, you're listening to the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas at Austin Amateur Radio Club. Call sign November 5, X-ray uniform. You can catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on the KA5D University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. If you're currently a licensed amateur radio operator and wish to participate in this net, you can double-check your repeater settings at ka5d.com/repeaters and n5oak.org/repeaters. My name's David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and I'm the net control operator for tonight's net. Break. Just so everyone's aware, there's no club meeting this week. However, in terms of club news, we will be going to the N5OAK Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Park Potluck. If you are a UT member and are interested in participating, please let us know quickly. We are having some issues with arranging transportation, so we need an accurate head count of who's coming. Also, so we can bring an adequate amount of food to make up for the fact that we're bringing a bunch of hungry college students to an event hosted in a public space. Break. So if you're interested in coming, just shoot us a message on the Discord server and we'll work things out. Okay. Once again, my name is David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and I'm net control for tonight's net. Real quickly, we're going to go ahead and do a round of regular check-ins. So if you'd like to check into the net tonight and would like to share something with the club, please say this is with a short pause to prevent doubling. And then please give us your name and call sign slowly and phonetically. If you missed the short time round of check-ins, just say no traffic and we'll skip you in the log, but that's all. Anyways, so standard check-ins, please give us your name and call sign slowly and phonetically.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Bravo November, Carmania.
Awesome, thank you for checking in, Carmania, Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Bravo November. Do we have any other regular check-ins for tonight's weekly net?
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
Alright, there was some doubling there. We have Ernesto Kilo India 5 Papa Zulu November. Thank you for checking in. If the other station could go ahead and check in as well, that'd be great. I missed you because of the doubling.
Kilo Golf 5 Uniform November Kilo, Doug, North Austin.
Thanks for checking in, Doug. I got you in the log. And are you mobile? Your signal's a little scratchy. We can catch up with you first if you'd like before you get out of range.
Negative. I'm stationary here at the house, so go ahead. I'm testing out a radio. How far it goes. If it's still noisy, KG5UK.
Looks like I doubled with you. It's a little noisy, but I think it'll work fine. We'll go ahead and move on with regular check-ins. Okay, if you'd like to check into the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, please say this is with a short pause to prevent doubling, and then give us your name and call sign, slowly and phonetically.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike, Papa Juliet, Jason and Vita.
This is Kilo 5 Juliet Mike, K5JN, Sam.
Alright, we have Kilo Bravo 5 Mike Papa Juliet, Jason, and Kilo 5 Juliet Mike, Sam in the log. Anyone else wishing to check into the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, please come now with your name and call sign. Alright, we're going to do one last call for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, first round of check-ins. If you'd like to say hi, just say this is a short pause for doubling, and then give us your name and call sign slowly and phonetically. Okay, that concludes the first round of check-ins for the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. First in the log, we have Kilo Juliet 5, Delta Bravo November, Carmania. Carmania, how's it going? I think this is the first time you're checking into net while I've run it, so I'm excited to hear from you. Yeah, what would you like to share with us on the net tonight?
Yeah, this is Kilo Juliet 5 Delta Bravo November. Yes, this is my first time checking in on this net. I've checked in on the Thursday night net before and the Taco net, but this is my third net after getting my license last Wednesday, so that's really fun. And other than that, I'm just on top of the WCP right now, and I have line of sight to the PMA repeater, so hopefully my signal is very good. That's it. Back to Nat.
Well, yeah, I'd have to say your signal's basically perfect, sounding really nice. Quick question, you're using your Baofeng, right? I think I heard the Roger beep, but I'm curious if you're messing with the Hack RF at all. I know your experiment the other week with the slow scan television was really cool. By the way, apologies to everyone, my nose is a bit stuffy for whatever reason right now, so I do apologize for that. Anyways, back to you, Carmania.
Yeah, so me and Colby were messing around with SSTV on Sunday night, and we basically got really good quality image transmission from like his laptop, played the sound out loud, and we had a handheld that transmitted that onto VHF, and then my Hack RF read the signal into my computer, and which then decoded the SSTV. The quality was a little bad when we were transmitting from one of the Hack RFs to the other Hack RF, but we need to work on that. But proof of concept image transmission is working. Back to Nat.
That's awesome. I really do love to see people experimenting with amateur radio, especially stuff that's a little more high tech. Really happy to have you guys in the club, and I think what you're doing is awesome. So, for the people listening on the net, do you have any theories as to why the image transmission quality was lesser? Do you think it has to do with the transmit sample rate, or what would you guess? Carmania, did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. Sorry, I thought that was a question for someone else. But no, I don't know yet what we're gonna do to fix it. We'll just debug all of the steps independently, like try going in receiving on a handheld and then decoding it and transmitting on a handheld, decoding it. We'll try to find the weakest link in the chain. Back to Nat.
Awesome. Now that is really cool. And so, anyone listening, if you have something for Carmania, a question or comment, please go ahead and tell us now. Real quick, first for ID, my name is David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November. So, if you have a question or comment for Carmania, Kilo Juliet 5, Delta Bravo November, please let us know.
Cat 5, PZN.
You're good to go, Ernesto.
Hey, Carmania, just wanted to say it was nice meeting you at the TacoNet and good hearing you on the air, man. And glad also to hear that you're already getting, experimenting with ham radio and doing all the fun stuff. That's about it. back to you, Carmania.
Yeah, Ernesto, it was also nice meeting you, and the tacos were really nice. So, yeah, thank you guys for organizing that. And, yeah, that's all I have for the net. Sorry, I gotta go. This is KJ5DVN, back to net.
No worries. It's nice to hear from you, and have a safe trip home. Okay, that was Carmania, Kilo Juliet 5, Delta Bravo November. Next up in the log, we have Kilo Golf 5, Uniform November Kilo, Doug. Doug, how's it going? And what would you like to share with us this week?
Hey, David. Hey, good running tonight. I was just, how's my audio at this point? You said you had a hard time hearing me a minute ago. Is still the same, or what are you hearing? KG5, okay.
There's a bit of splatter or crackle, I guess, but you're still more than copyable. And 5YAN, back to you, Doug.
Okay, so do you still hear it over here? I'm just curious. I am trying to, or I had a dead radio here, and it's running, but I just wondered if there's any difference over on here. I was on the 320, and now I'm over on the KA5D.
Well, it sounds like you took your radio and you put a Yagi on it, and you're right below the repeater. Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay, well, I'm much closer to the UT repeater than I am the 320 repeater out in Oak Hill. And I am pointing with the Yagi downtown, KG5UNK.
Great, sounds great. Glad we could work out the signal report. Is there anything you'd like to share with us tonight on the net? One thing I think people may be curious about is your radio situation. You said it was broken. Are you repairing it? What's going on?
Yeah, it was a repair. It wasn't operational. It wouldn't come on. It had one of those situations where one of those components, one of the big components inside that's really packed with smoke, it all came out. And so I got the parts in today and got it back together. And I am purposely doing a long transmission here at just checking things, making sure it's all working at this point. KG5UNK. Back to you, David.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like the doctor is in. The radio is working now, so that's always a good sign. Okay. So this has been Doug, Kilo Golf 5, Uniform November Kilo. That's not me, by the way. I realize the way I phrased that's a little confusing. So, if anyone has a question or comment for Doug regarding this radio repair or anything else you may want to share with Doug, please give us your name and call. Not anyone? I'm surprised. Okay, last call. Does anyone have a question or comment for Doug about this radio repair? Please give us your name and call sign.
PZN.
Ernesto, I knew you'd bite. Go ahead.
How far away from radio? That's a question for Doug. Number one is, are you going to the potluck on Saturday? And then the other one is, so I guess, more than anything is, I guess it's not a question. I guess, you fix the radio, because I saw the radio that he's talking about. So, congratulations on getting that sucker back up, man.
Yeah, man. I was gonna surprise you with the picture of the box, but I couldn't wait. I got the components out, got them in this one, and this one seems to be ready to go. That's why I was checking it out, just doing some long transmissions here and just letting everybody just kind of listen to make sure the audio sounds good and moving on. That way you can have a mobile KG5UNK.
Oh wait, man! I thought you were talking about the other one, the one that you used to have next to your HF that stopped working. Dude, that's really awesome. Thank you so much. That's I won't sleep tonight. Back to you.
Oh no, I cured that one about 2 weeks ago, I guess, or a week ago, and then, man, that's I'm not gonna say anything or knock on wood, but this one here does seem like it's probably ready to go back in as mobile. I don't know how many other check-ins there were, but we can talk afterwards if you want. KG5UNK. I just don't want to tie it up. Thanks, man. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Back to net control. Yes, absolutely.
No worries, you guys. There aren't that many check-ins, but we will go ahead and move on. I will have to say kudos to you, Doug. And, I may be studying electrical engineering, but fixing anything that's remotely complex is super hard for me to do. I used to do electronics repair as a kid to make some extra money, and thankfully all the problems were easy. But, when I see a blown-up radio, I sort of just look at it, and it's sort of too much to process at once, When you design something or reverse engineer it, it's a lot easier to go back and figure out how things work. But when you are faced with a blown-up PCB, it's just a little too much for my brain to handle sometimes. So serious kudos to you. That takes some skill, and I'm glad you were able to save a radio from the landfill. That is always nice. Okay, real quick for ID, you're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by me, at least this week, David, November 5, Yankee Alpha, November, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the repeater. Okay, so we meet every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and this is sort of a lighthearted net, just to get everyone together and chatting, answer questions, and socialize a bit over the air. Next up in our log, we have Ernesto, Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu, November, the president of the Austin Amateur Radio Club, and overall cool guy. I am not being paid to say this. Ernesto, what would you like to share with us on the net? I know you're going to the not the taco net, that already happened. I know you're going to the potluck. So, any interesting stories about potlucks of previous years, or, what do you want to share with us, man?
Hey, David, and everybody on the net. Thanks for running the net, dude. Let's see. No, man, just excited now because I've been radioless for a while now in my car, and I'm usually either listening or talking. So it's been kind of quiet for me on the radio side of the spectrum. And then the HDs, it's funny, I have two HDs that are identical, and they're both starting to suffer the same issue where the batteries start losing the contact, and I have like a little piece of paper between the battery and the chassis of the radio, but they're both doing the same thing. So
I guess I'm learning now, like, you know, when you buy a brand new car, by the time you're done paying for it, 5 years or 6 years, it starts breaking down. So I guess the lifetime of a heavily used HT, it's about a couple of years and it starts falling apart. I guess, well, this is my, my experiment with two of the same type of radio. Back to you, David.
Well, you know, I would say they don't build them like they used to, but I think you have a Yaesu FT3DR or something. Those little radios are incredible. I mean, they pack so much into such a small little package. It's crazy to me. But I'm running an old radio. This radio's, I think it was released in '97, so that's 6 years older than I am, which is kind of crazy to think about. And it's still going. It has some problems, but you know, when you really enjoy using a radio, you sort of just put up with problems slowly but surely, and it still works, right? It still works. It may not work perfect, but it still works, and that's what matters. So I have a dumb question. How did this issue with the battery sort of arise? What do you think? And do you think it's a problem with the battery? If you got a new battery, would it mount perfectly, or do you think the plastic on the radio that actually holds the battery is at fault? I'm curious what you think. Back to you, Ernesto.
Well, David, I think that's where the issue is. It's with the radio itself, the plastic case where they put these radios. I guess they're not designed for the Texas heat, and I think that's just maybe what it is. Because I'm always carrying these things around. You know, they both started, you know, dying about the same time, and it's just that the plastic where this battery is clicked in, it just gets gets a little bit wider there. And if it would have been, I guess, metal, although I guess I understand that, you know, batteries and all that stuff, but something else, I don't know, a different design, because I had a rubber band going around mine. And then I switched it up for the little piece of paper, but I guess I need to replace a piece of paper soon because it's getting flat until I figure something out. Maybe like a piece of rubber, that might work better. Back to net.
Well, I mean, if the HT and the battery were made out of metal, I think the Texas heat would be an even bigger problem for your radio. You wouldn't be able to hold the thing. It'd be too warm. So, if I'm understanding correctly, you put the piece of paper in between the battery and the radio to sort of push the battery up into the grooves of the radio, so you sort of slide it in and it pushes up. If I'm understanding correctly, is that correct?
Yeah, man, that's an old trick. That Eli actually is the one who brought it to me, because I've forgotten about those things that we used to do as kids. But yeah. That's what I'm doing, and it seems like, you know, it works well for a little bit, but it's paper, so I need to probably get like a tiny little piece of rubber, something that will hold the shape longer. And my fear is that the chassis or the case will keep on stretching, so I'll end up with you know, like an encyclopedia between the battery and the radio. KFI, PZN, back to net control.
India 5, Papa Zulu November from November 5, Yankee Alpha November. I'll have to take a look at your radio at the potluck if I end up making it. Hopefully I will. I told you what happened with my dad over the weekend. I'm not sure if I'll have to go visit him in the hospital. It's a long story, but basically when I was a kid I had a similar issue with a radio control airplane remote, and what me and my little brother did was we mixed baking soda and super glue, and we used a toothpick to sort of paint it onto the plastic, if you will. And we basically just built up the plastic layer by layer with this cursed super glue and cornstarch, or I forgot what we used, cornstarch or baking soda. And then we took a file and we sort of filed it down to shape to bring back the original one. So instead of slowly wearing down the plastic, maybe you could do something like that, or use that, you know, they sell the UV curable glue, like the super glue. I wonder if you could do something like that to prevent sort of wearing away the plastic of the radio. Break. One other thing, maybe I was wondering if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to stick with another shim. I wonder if a credit card would work. You know, that's pretty hard plastic, and you know, an old credit card and it's not doing anything. You could just cut it up and shove it in your radio. Curious what you think about that. And yeah, back to you, Ernesto. KI5PZN, November 5, Yankee Alpha, November.
Those are two, both of them good ideas. I might try the little piece of plastic first, and if not, I'll try that other mix. Might look like my iPhone might end up looking like a baking tray or a bolillo with an antenna, but I'll make it work because I'm gonna try to get my money worth out of this guy. 2 years to me, that's not enough, man. It's like you say, you know, the material is just, you know, inferior than what they used to do. I know, but yeah, that's the story, man. Back to net. This is KI5PZN.
Awesome. It's the little HT that takes a lickin' and keeps on ticking. Okay, this has been a conversation with Ernesto, Kilo Indy 5 of Paz Zulu November, the man, the myth, the legend. Anyways, if you have a question or comment for Ernesto, please drop your name and call sign, and we'll let you talk with him for a bit.
K5JM.
Right, Sam, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my comment there. Yeah, Ernesto, I think we've talked about this a little bit. Yeah, I would be curious to see this mystery radio problem myself, hopefully here in person. I plan to attend the potluck. But yeah, for the net, I guess. Oops, that was a microwave. For the net, there I had the older version of that radio. He has FT1T, and I had dropped that thing several times on the hard tile floor a couple times, and I had the same issues start to develop with the radio. But I found at the top of the battery, which I think they might have maybe used the same batteries. I don't know. I broke off these little plastic tabs. They're really like kind of almost indistinguishable because I found these little plastic pieces just randomly on the floor one day. I was like, what's this? And I kind of traced it back to the battery. It just wouldn't feed against the radio really well anymore until I did the rubber band trick. Then I found a radio case for it to put it in, and then tried paper, this and that. And, you know, the only solution I found really was going to be have to buy more batteries, which the batteries they wanted for those things were like $80 to $100. So I was like, meh. I just kind of lived with it.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. I saw the replacement for the batteries, and you know, the battery itself worked really well still. So that's why I guess it's the same thing. I'm guessing it's the way they build them, and to make sure that we go and get the new ones. Like I said, this radio's gonna look like Frankenstein, but I'm gonna keep on trucking with this thing until it dies, completely dies. But thanks for the tip, Sam. KI5PZN.
Yeah, no problem, Ernesto. K5JM, back to net.
All right, so Sam and Ernesto talked about batteries for a little bit. Does anyone else have a question or comment for Ernesto? Please drop your name and call sign.
Hey, 5UNK.
Go ahead, Doug, and just so you know, if you switch back to the 320, your signal's scratchy again. I'm not sure what's up with that.
Okay, yes, I did switch back to the 320. Didn't change at all. Anyway, I wanted to say, Ernesto, don't permanently modify anything when you take a look at it. I haven't seen this problem, so I don't know if this was electrical or not. KC5UNK.
thank you, dude. Yeah, I'm usually carrying this thing around with me. I just forget that I have that issue until I start using it. But yeah, no, I'll carry with me. Just next time around, I'll show it to you. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it seems to be a recurring thing with this little radio. Sounds like.
Okay, well, that is all. And back to that KP5 unit, okay?
Okay, that was Ernesto, KI5PZN. We'll go ahead and do one last round of questions or comments for Ernesto. Just give us your name and call. Okay, nothing heard. Next up in the log, we have Jason, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet. Jason, how's it going? Are you going to the potluck? Yeah, what would you like to share with us on the weekly Amateur Radio Club net? I'm sorry, I completely screwed that up. Jason, the floor is yours. Okay, real quick, can someone give me a radio check? I'm not sure if that was my end or if Jason was not making it into the repeater. I did not catch any intelligible speech. November 5, Yankee Alpha, November.
Jason, then.
Okay, thanks, Ernesto. Jason, if you can hear us, we cannot hear you at all. Hopefully you are okay, and this is just a propagation issue. We'll give you another chance. Jason, go ahead.
KB5MPJ, yeah, I tried from HT in the house, and I guess you weren't able to hear me, even though I could hear the repeater. I won't be going to the potluck. I'm going to be going to Dallas this weekend. I'm going to go to the Queen concert on Friday night and visit my parents over the weekend. They live in Plano. That's where I grew up. And let's see, radio-wise, went out to South Atlanta River State Park over the weekend with Ray, K5BZI, and we operated from his camper out there at the park and made probably, 250 or so contacts. So, yeah, just a good weekend overall. And that's what I've been up to. Back to net, KB5MPJ.
Awesome. Sounds like you had a wonderful weekend. And quick follow-up question. You're going to see Queen. Great band, and I'm happy you get to visit your parents. That's nice. But if you had to pick a favorite Queen song, which song would you pick? And, now that Freddie Mercury is no longer around, what do you think of the, new replacement, I guess? I don't know if that's, sort of a nice word to use, but yeah, what do you think of Queen performing nowadays? Does it live up to your expectations? And I imagine yes, because you're going and you seem excited. I would be too. So, yeah, what do you think of all this?
I always liked the song You're My Best Friend, and of course Bohemian Rhapsody, another one, Bites the Dust. I like pretty much all of them. But yeah, I've heard Adam Lambert is doing a real good job singing for them, Ray went to see them out at Circuit of the Americas a couple of weekends ago, and he said it was a great show. So, I've been hearing that they're putting on a good show, so I'm looking forward to it on Friday in Dallas.
Awesome. I'm excited for you, man. Okay, if anyone has a question or comment for Jason, please give us your name and call. Alright, one last call for Jason, KB5MPJ. If you have a question for him about Queen, Plano, growing up in Plano, or anything of the sort, or just want to comment on something like his POTA activation, please give us your name and call sign.
PZN.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hey Jason, I just want to say hi, man. I haven't talked to you in a while. Sorry, we're gonna miss you for the potluck, man, but I'm sure you're gonna be having a great time over there. So I guess next time we talk, bring all the stories, man. Back to you.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the potluck. It was a good time last time out there, but just didn't work out this time with the schedule. But field day, I'll be looking forward to winter field day when that comes up. So get to see everybody then. Are you planning on going to winter field day?
Yes, sir. That's the plan. We missed the last year, but the plan is to be there on this one. So looking forward to it, man. Have fun over there at the concert, man. KFI-PZN.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Ernesto. We'll see you out at field day and maybe see you sooner. Club meeting or Saturday breakfast or something like that. Back to net control.
Alright, that was a conversation between Jason, KB5MPJ, and Ernesto, Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November. And just real quick for ID, my name's David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November. And you're listening to the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, held every Wednesday night at 8 p.m., come snow, rain, or hail. Or, the one thing we are vulnerable to is forgetfulness. Anyways, next up in the log we have Sam, Kilo 5, Juliet Mike. Sam, how are you? And what have you been up to that you'd like to share with us tonight?
This is K5JM, Sam. Hey, not too much radio-wise today, but it's been a pretty good week so far. Let's say I got to work Jason and Ray last weekend on their park activation there on 40 meters, so that was good. And I need to repair my 40-meter antenna. One of the dipole legs keeps falling down, so I'm going to have to take stronger measures. But even with one of the dipole legs kind of drooping down, it was still plenty enough to work them over there by Junction, Texas. So other than that, for coming forward this week, looking forward to the potluck thing. It's really my first time out there. And it'll be good to catch up with everybody.
Awesome stuff there, Sam. And does anyone have a comment or question for Sam, K5JM? Nothing heard. It's nice to hear from you, Sam, and I was excited to meet you for the first time the other week at the N5OAK meeting. I guess we'll go ahead and do a second round of check-ins. Break.
yeah, it was great meeting you as well, and hope to see you again there soon, and you're doing a great job on net control. Thanks for taking my check-in, and back to net. K5JM.
Alright, I've completely forgot to do questions or comments and let you follow back up. I apologize. Okay, any questions or comments for Sam? Kilo 5, Juliet Mike, please give us your name and call sign. Nothing heard. We'll go ahead and roll into the second round of check-ins. I'm hoping El Oxidado will make it, but I think he is asleep or hungover. Who knows? Anyways, so for the second round of check-ins, we'll go ahead and let you know what you're listening to. This is the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5XU. You can catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on the KA5D University Link repeater system, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, as well as the Whiskey 5 Alpha Charlie Texas A&M Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Wow, is that a mouthful? Okay. If you are currently a licensed amateur radio operator and are listening, if you want to program the repeater into your radio, check out ka5d.com/repeaters or n5oak.org/repeaters. Break. My name is David Kilo. Not Kilo Golf 5 Uniform Bravo Bravo. That was my old call sign. November 5, Yankee Alpha November. I'm the net control operator for tonight's net. With all of that information out of the way, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second round of regular check-ins. In order to check into the net tonight, please say this is with a short pause to avoid doubling, and then please give us your name and call sign, slowly and phonetically.
Whiskey Zulu 5 Bravo Bravo Sierra El Oxidado.
Well, well, well. He is alive. Nice to hear from you, Rusty. Any other check-ins for tonight?
N5WRW.
Alright, we have November 5, Whiskey Radio Whiskey in the log. Dwight, do we have any other check-ins for the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net? Please say this is with a short pause to prevent doubling with other stations, and then give us your name and call sign, slowly and phonetically. Alright, we're going to do a final call for the second round of check-ins on the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. If you'd like to check in, just say this is with a short pause to avoid doubling, followed by your name and call sign, slowly and phonetically. Alright, nothing heard. We're going to go ahead and check in first with El Oxidado. Rusty, WZ5 BBS. He's the president of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, and an all-right person at best. I'm just kidding. That's too mean. I apologize. Anyways, Rusty, what's going on? And, yeah, the floor is yours.
I'm unlinking my system and going home. Man, I'm hanging out. I've been listening to the net, working in the office. Got the fireplace going, even though it's only 48 outside. It's always nice to have a fire. Very much looking forward to the potluck. That's some stuff that I've been working on. We've got 3 foxes going to be in the park. We got fried chicken ordered today. We've got like 75 people coming. So, man, the park is going to be booming, and it's going to be a blast. So I'm looking forward to Saturday.
I doubled with you there for a second. I'm glad to hear the good news about the park potluck. And quick question, but what do the park officials think of this whole thing? Do they think it's silly, or are they just glad to have people actually show up?
Who's
so I just got informed by FCC listener that my audio is scratchy. Are we doing all right here? Do I need to move?
I mean, it could be better, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, you're quieting the repeaters, so I think we're okay.
All right, cool. Well, now that that's done, ask me that question again because I totally forgot.
No worries, Rusty. I was just curious, when it comes to the park potluck, what do you think the employees think of the whole thing? I know the librarians are big fans of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, but I'm curious what the park people think, you know? It's a lot of guys, sort of just camping out in the parking lot, and I'm just curious, do they think it's good? Do they think it's too many people? I hope we aren't a burden for them. And I'm sort of just curious what they think of, you know, the amateur radio hobby and all that. So back to you, Rusty.
Well, so it's kind of funny that you say that. Last year was the first year that we did it, and the club was super into fox hunts, and the question got surfaced as to whether or not we should call and ask them if we could do fox hunts. And I pretty much went with the no. I was like, you know, let's just go do it. If it turns out to be a bad thing, we will apologize and never do it again. But, let's just kind of roll with it and ask for forgiveness instead of permission. And we were walking around. We had 4 foxes last year spread out over 3 miles, which we moved them closer this year because it was kind of a walk to make all that happen. But I got stopped by a park ranger who'd finally seen enough of us that she was curious. And she's like, what in the world are y'all doing? And so I told her that we had hidden 4 parks, you know, it was just like totally clean with her about what we'd done. And before I could even get done, she was just like, that is so cool. I've seen a lot of y'all out here. That's fantastic. So as far as I know, they don't mind. Last year we only had like 40 people, so it was a nice little group. But man, I don't know. We got the trailer of Awesome coming with the Aries folk. And we've got 3 fox hunts this year, so we shall see. Oh, my FCC listener is talking again.
All right, well, that's lovely. I'm not sure who you're with the FCC listener. Over there, I think my PTT button is starting to eat it, so. Okay, that was Rusty, WZ5 VBS, and I'm the net controller, November 5, Yankee Alpha, November. Do we have any questions or comments for the legendary El Oxidado? Please come with your name and call sign.
EZN.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Hey, Rusty, I guess you fixed whatever was wrong with your radio, because your audio wasn't 100%, but then I guess you had it in 2 watts or something like that. So that means on Saturday you're doing Waterloo breakfast and then going over there to the park. Back to you, Rusty.
No, sir. We have the Potluck Park organization committee is meeting early, so I'm going to have to be there for that. And we have, you know, contracts and insurance waivers and stuff to sign. So I'm going to miss out on the old man breakfast. I fixed the problem. I turned my power supply on. So apparently my battery was a little low, which is kind of interesting because I'm only transmitting at 25 watts. So I think something might be up with this battery, which would be interesting because it's a HF battery that never gets used. So yeah, glad to not fix the problem though.
It sounded like you were talking on an HT, you know, when that happens, which is weird because usually that your radio is booming in. So anyway, glad you figured it out, and sorry we're gonna miss you at breakfast on Saturday. Back to net. This is Sky-Fi PZN.
Bring old man breakfast with you, man.
Coming.
Alright, everyone, you've been listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net for Wednesday, November 1st. You just heard a conversation between Rusty, WZ5 VBS, and Ernesto, Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November. If you'd also like to ask a question or have a comment for Rusty, please drop your name and call sign.
KG5UNK.
Go ahead, Doug.
Hi, Rusty. That is all.
Hey, Doug. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and I think we have F1 this weekend, so maybe Sunday.
Yeah, roger that. Brazil. So, I'm up for it. See you later, KG5UNK.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I'm going to go and tell the TV to record it now. So thanks for the memory jaunt there. See you later, Doug.
Okie dokie. We're going to go ahead and do one last call for questions or comments for Rusty WZ5BBS. But before we get into that, it's time for station ID. My name is David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and you're listening to the University of Texas at Austin Amateur Radio Club's weekly net. Heard here on the, whatever repeater you're listening to. And, if you have a question or comment for Rusty WZ5BBS, please give us your name and call sign.
Sounds like they're done with me.
Alright, nothing heard. Usually Rusty's more popular than this, but I'm sure he enjoys the breaks from the paparazzi and never-ending flashing lights from the cameras. Okay, moving down the log, we have Dwight, November 5, Whiskey Radio Whiskey. How is it going, first of all? And are you going to the park potluck? What's been going on?
Oh, things are pretty good. I've been working on CW, and I probably won't be at the potluck. And I've been working on HF a little bit.
That sounds like a fun time. What sort of HF operations are you doing? Are you working CW? Have you gotten up to that point? I'm sorry, I don't know much about your CW abilities. I honestly have been wanting to learn CW for a long time. I just haven't been able to commit the time for it. So I'm curious, have you worked any stations, anything exciting going on with HF and CW?
Yeah, I've worked some stations on the slow speed tests, and I've been working on it pretty hard. I signed up for a class with the CW Academy, and that's been good. They meet twice a week, and they sort of keep you at it. Twice a week for 8 weeks, anyway. Tomorrow's our last class. I'm definitely doing better. Nothing to write home about, but definitely better. N5WRW.
Well, now that's just great to hear. Making progress is better than doing nothing. I'll give you that much. I know a lot of people just never get started, so you made the first step, and that's what matters. Okay, so this has been Dwight, November 5, Whiskey Radio Whiskey, and I'm the net controller, November 5, Yankee Alpha November. If you have a question or comment for Dwight, please go ahead and give us your name and call sign, and then you guys can get chatting.
Q5TR.
Okay, we have Kilo 5 Tango Romeo. Go ahead.
Curious, so Dwight, is that the first level of the CW Ops class, or some other level? And did you know the code before you took that class at all?
Yeah, it's the second level. They said I should start on the second level. And back when I got my general and advanced, you had to pass 13 words a minute code. So I did that then. It's a while. N5WRW.
Okay, very good. I was just curious. K5TR.
Alright, so K5TR just asked Dwight, November 5 Whiskey Radio Whiskey, a question about Morse code. If you also have a question for Dwight, please give us your name and call sign so we can let you chat.
Kilo 5, Juliet Mike, Sam with a question for Dwight.
For you, Sam, I appreciate the detail. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey Dwight, I don't think we've had a chance to talk, but that's pretty cool about the CW stuff. And I'm wondering, have you ever joined in, shameless plug, on the Thursday night CW roundtable on 3.532, thereabouts, at 7:30? And if you haven't, you're very more than welcome to join us. We hop on there. It's just very informal roundtable that the N5OAK group hosts most Thursday nights. And so yeah, curious if you've heard of that or if you've been on there.
No, I haven't. That was 3.5, say the rest?
3.532 plus or minus. Well, I think last week we were on 3533 because there was some traffic, but normally we're there at 3532. And I'm not sure if you're connected to the Discord group. We also coordinate on the Discord stuff, but no worries if you're not. Just listen in there about 7:30, and you'll either hear myself or there's another station, Pat, W5WTH, or maybe you'll hear George, K5TR, or just some friendly other hands. And it's yeah, if you can send your call sign, that's enough for us. So we're happy to work you.
Okay, well, great. I'll give it a try. My limp noodle of an antenna does load up fine on 80 meters, so it shouldn't be too big a problem.
Well, fine business. Yeah, we'd love to work you, and I'm not sure where you're located. I'm here in South Austin, so yeah, even we have people coming on QRP power, or they're normally able to be picked up. So I'm sure maybe we can snag you, and it'll be fun. So very good. Well, we'll look forward to it. Hopefully. K5J, I'm back to net.
Yeah, I'm in Buda, just real close to the intersection of 1626 and 967. N5WRW, back to net.
All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up the net. I have a lot to do, and I'm feeling very tired, but I appreciate everyone who's checked in, and it's been fun running the net again. I know Colby has been in an exam tonight, but I have a feeling he's going to come back for my for my operating position shortly, so you can expect to hear from him again. Okay, so thanks again to everyone for joining us on the air for the UT Austin Amateur Radio Club's Weekly Net, a service of the University of Texas at Austin's Amateur Radio Club. The club call sign is November 5, X-Ray Uniform Break. You can find us here on your favorite Austin repeater every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. if you'd like to join again in the future. We are the official amateur radio club for the University of Texas, operating for a little bit over 100 years. You can read about the club, sign up for our email list, and find an event calendar at sites.utexas.com/N5XU. If you look up UT Amateur Radio Club, the first result is actually the University of Tennessee. So if you could give us some sweet traffic from Google and help bump us up above the University of Tennessee, we'd appreciate it. Anyways, thanks again to everyone for joining us on the air for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. My name is David, call sign November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and for my QTH up here in North Campus, 7 3s. It's been a pleasure running the net, and I'm glad to hear from everyone tonight. Thanks again to everyone who participated or was just listening in. This system is now returned to regular amateur radio use.
Net. wasn't a Colby net, but, you know, it'll do in a pinch on a Wednesday. Get to work.